Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I saw this article that it kind of, the way it was worded was a little vague, and I was reading through here, and I remember State Street I remember the announcement. I believe it was an announcement a few months back that State Street, as well as I believe Northern Trust. I remember talking about how these are two of the traditional custodians for Wall Street and the big money. And then I saw this article, and the way that it was written, crypto custody, State Street is waiting on a client shift, exec says. But then when I started to read through here, the vibe that I got from this article was that the title is really they're just trying to keep quiet what they do have in the works. This is the way I read this. It says State Street, one of the largest institutional custodians on the planet, said there is no sense of urgency at the moment, at least, from clients for the firm to move into safeguarding crypto assets. Now, this was at the American Banker Block FS conference in New York. Jay Biancamano, State Street's managing director for digital development and innovation, acknowledged there is a high level of interest. This is where they kind of lost me. There is a high level of interest. However, there is no sense of urgency on the part of our clients to move into these assets right now. When they do, we want to meet them there, he said. He went on to explain there's a very high level of interest, but no need to move because currently none of our clients are looking for us to house these assets in custody. And then it goes on to mention that Fidelity is doing this. It goes on to mention Coinbase, BitGo, and then later it says Northern Trust, Japanese bank Nomura. All of these are working on custody solutions. So after I read this article, what I piece together when I read this is that State Street is just trying to give a perception that they're not right in there with everybody, maybe to give themselves some separation in a way. At the end here it says it's not just about the current cryptocurrency. It's also about tokenization and digitalization of traditional assets too. It says alluding to an inevitable convergence with State Street's custody business. So in other words, I believe that State Street may be working on this even more than these other companies are, but they want to keep it quiet, which would be the smart move. But here's the other thing that you must remember. This just happened to pop up from Stephen Diep. Now, I remember this. I remember this conference, and I remember these comments, but I don't remember seeing this in video format. And so I believe that's why Stephen Diep, and you should follow him if you don't. He puts great little snippets of videos from conferences and different things onto Twitter. But in this one, it was a conference that Brad Garlinghouse was there, and he had the Ross Leclow from the IMF was there as well. And first, Garlinghouse said SCB is using blockchain, that's Siam Commercial Bank, I believe. SCB is using blockchain and even digital asset XRP to help solve cross-border payment problems. XRP allows banks to eliminate pre-funded accounts, thus making trillions of dollars more active and accelerating global expansion. And that's him on November 18th. And then it says Brad Garlinghouse predicts that the year from now, banks will be custodying crypto assets directly. And I read that to be like the banks that you and I go to visit on a daily basis to do our business would be custodying. But you make no mistake, the companies that are big in this business, like State Street, you better believe they've got things in the works. And the final thing from this Stephen Diep tweet that was interesting is someone in the audience asks the Ross Leckow from from the IMF. They ask him, will IMF hold crypto assets in the future? And it was an extremely awkward moment where Brad Garlinghouse basically saved him and started speaking. But the IMF guy, he said, look, for that to happen, you would have to have at least a country using digital assets as their currency. And so, but he did not say, no, that's never going to happen. So it was a very, very awkward moment, and you should go and watch this on his Twitter feed. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that Brad Garlinghouse says that your banks are going to be custodying digital assets within the next year. Thanks for listening.